Okay guys, I'm going to do kind of a fancy dog bone car here. So I'm going to start off by putting a blank in here. I'm going to choose this bottom plane and I'm going to use a center rectangle. And that rectangle is going to be 1.75 tab 7. I'm going to extrude that up 1.25. And I'm going to make it wood. So I'm going to come up here to modify, go to physical material, and scroll down to wood, specifically pine. Left click on that, drag it out there, unclick, and I now have a pine block. So now I'm going to cut the dog bone shape in from the top, and then I'll make it a little bit aerodynamic on the side. So I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to use a polyline, what they call a fit point spline. I'm going to click on the front here. I'm going to go up to there. I'm going to go right through the middle there and click on that. Right click and hit OK. I'm going to space these two intersections where it's coincident with the side. I'm going to space that to be 4.25. My wheels need to be 4.5. And as I bring this forward a little bit, so I'm going to drag this one, right click and hit OK, and then drag that forward a little bit. You'll see that what I have is I'm going to have a flat surface here and here, which is, I'll be able to put my nail holes 4.5 inches apart on the flat surface. So I'm just thinking when I go to drill them, it'll make it a little bit easier. I want this to be symmetrical, so I'm going to use the mirror function, and I'm going to mirror this line about, I need an axis here I can't see, so when I go to mirror line, I don't have my axis here. I come up to my browser and I hit this eyeball in the origin, then I'm able to select that line and hit OK. Now I have what I want, so I'm going to finish my sketch, go back to isometric QC, and then I'm going to go around selecting all these pieces that I want to get rid of, and I will just grab that arrow and drag it out, cut it off, hit OK. So yeah, it's a start. I'm now going to profile this on the side. Alright, sorry, we had an important message from the PHS Masons there. We're going to get back to. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to sketch on, I'll start my sketch plane on this flat plane here, and I'm going to sketch a elevation view of this, then make it a little more aerodynamic. So again, I'm going to use my polyline. If I come here, it won't grab onto that, so I need to project a couple lines. I'm going to project this line here and this line here. That way I can snap onto it. That's why we project to lines. But I'm going to use the fit point spline. I'm going to come down here, kind of give it a little rounding, make it nice and flat. I'll right click and hit OK. Now, if I tried to, I could extrude that and I could extrude that. I cannot extrude this because it's curved. It doesn't recognize it. So I'm just going to make a complete polygon. I'm going to pick up right here in the polygon. I'm going to go up and around. And now that is a closed polygon that I can extrude. So I can choose that and grab that little piece there. And then I can just scrape that right off like that. Alright, so I'm going to do a little bit of refinement now here. I'm going to turn off that origin in my browser. I'm going to right click on this line here and I'm going to go ahead and put a fillet on there. I'm going to gently hit. So I'm at the 0.2. I'll do 0.2 on the other side. Sleek. Fillet that down to 0.2. And hit OK. Alright, so now let's see what else I can do. I can put holes in for my axles. I'm not going to even do that right now. I'm going to concentrate on adding weight to the back. So in order to add weight to the back, I'm going to sketch on the back, and I don't have a flat surface to set my weight on. That would be kind of frustrating. So I'm going to come back here and create a sketch on this back side. I'm going to put a rectangle in here, and let's see, I'm going to place the rectangle here like this. I want that to be centered, so I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to put a line up from the origin, and then right click and hit OK. Then I'm going to center it by using the midpoint. So midpoint, putting that on there. Right click. I don't think that did what I wanted it to do. That moves the midpoint of the line. I'm going to take a second to figure this out. I'm going to delete that line. I'm going to draw a line from the midpoint of this down, which it does actually look like it's on that. So I'm in good shape, but I'm going to go ahead and tell it to be. It'll tell me I'm over constraining. Yep, it's over constrained, so it's already there. So it is where I want it to be centered. I'm now going to extrude that in. So I'll cut that out. Let's go down here. I want that little bit and that little bit. And I'm going to make a little flat place for that to go. And now I can add some steel weight. So to add the weight, good gosh, I don't want to keep going and just add it. I want to come up here, right click, and hit new component. That way I can adjust it. So I'm going to put it in a steel, hit OK. I'm going to go ahead and now create a sketch. I'm going to choose this bottom flat plane right there. And I'm not going to draw that. Instead, I'm going to project that. That way, if I make this shape dependent upon the shape of the wood, I'll be able to change both of them at once. So I'm going to finish that sketch. Even though I didn't sketch anything, I only did some projection. I'm now going to take that surface, bring it up here like that, and hit OK. I'm going to go ahead and modify my material now and make that steel. Drag that over, click on that. Looks like it might have already been steel. I'm going to come back up here and click on the overall assembly. This is now called an assembly because I have multiple pieces. That steel is a different component. And when I go here, right click and hit properties. Let's see where I'm at in terms of weight. I gotta be, I might be able to add more steel. So if I wanted to make it heavier, now please note I don't have the axles and wheels on, but those are less than half, so I might want to ease this up. So I'm going to come back to that right there. Oops. I'll freeze that. And this is the one. I'm going to drag that out a little bit further, and not only does it change my wood, but it also changes my steel. Notice the steel fills that exactly. So I should have gotten a little heavier. Yeah, I'm up to 4, but I can adjust that. I could also then, if I wanted to make it heavier, I could come down here, click on the steel, and I could always extrude that up a little further to add my weight. I'm curious if that did it, so I'm going to come back up to here. I'm going to right click and hit properties. to check my weight, and then also I want to look at my center of mass. So that's probably approaching where I want. If I scroll down to center of mass, the center of mass has been moved back 1.781. That's pretty good. That's getting back there about as far as I can get. If I think about that from here, that's a ½ inch. So that's center of mass is right about here. This right here is a pretty good car if it's strong enough through its body. If it gets weak and bounces and bends and flexes, that would be absorbing potential energy, which would hurt my kinetic energy. But that in and of itself is not terrible. So I'm going to call that one done.